Hello and welcome to the Stem Cell Healing Institute podcast. In case you have any questions, please send us an email to info@stemcellhealinginstitute.com. Thank you and enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Stem Cell Healing Institute video podcast. We are here with Dr. Zahra Figueredo. She is the research and general director of the institute. Doctor, how are you? How you doing?
Very good, Luis. Thank you so much. I'm very well. And yourself?
I'm doing great as always. So we really appreciate your time and your knowledge about stem cells, of course. And we do have a few questions for you for this interesting topic today, which is going to be liver and kidney disease.
That's right.
How the stem cells can help liver and kidney disease. So in this case, doctor, when we hear about the liver and kidney disease, we actually tend to hear more about the kidneys than the liver, right? Why is the liver so important as well?
Yeah, the liver is the body's primary detoxification organ. So it's super, super important that the liver as well as the kidneys are working. The skin is the second biggest detoxification organ. The reason why these tend to go hand in hand is because liver is responsible for detoxifying fat-soluble toxins. Okay, so anything that's fat-soluble in our diet or in our environment, the liver is responsible for that, along with like xenoestrogens, hormones, things like that. And then the kidneys are responsible for water-soluble detoxifying the body with from water-soluble toxins or even extra vitamins like vitamin C and Bs. Those are water-soluble, and that's why we tend to see when we take a multivitamin, whatever our body doesn't use, we see our urine a little bit brighter than normal. And so that's just our body's a way of getting rid of the water-soluble extras, basically, including toxins like urea and things like that. And so that is why the liver, as well as the kidney, and then even we can go into the skin as a detoxifying organ. But right now we're talking about the liver and the kidneys.
So, what is the structure or what is the composition of the liver?
The liver has, it's made of parenchymal cells, very tightly bound parenchymal cells that have the capacity, a very high capacity to regenerate. In fact, about 25% of the of the liver can regenerate just on its own if there was some kind of liver damage. And so the liver itself tends to have a higher capacity of regeneration. And that is why stem cells can have such a great effect with liver. If there's cirrhosis of the liver or some kind of liver damage, we have the liver has a great capacity to regenerate.
Can we say that this liver disease is like saying that is the same as liver parenchymal that you mentioned?
The parenchymal cells?
Parenchymal cells?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's the same reference there.
That's
okay.
Right.
So based on that, can we say that what causes liver disease or what causes kidney disease, and can the stem cells help?
Yes. Let me go back a little bit and talk about the why the kidneys and the liver work hand in hand, and how they fail. Yes. One thing to remember here for our listeners and our viewers is that why is water so important? And I'm going to get to my point. Water is really important because if we don't get enough water, the liver has to do the work of the kidneys. And as I mentioned, the kidneys are responsible for water-soluble toxins. So if the kidneys don't have enough water in order to do its function, the liver has to take over. So then the liver gets extra taxed having to do and detoxify fat-soluble as well as water-soluble toxins. So it's sort of burdened with the work of both the kidney and the liver. So number one, that's why water is so important. And that is why they sort of work hand in hand. Now, your question of how liver damage can occur or kidney or liver disease can occur is there are several different ways. So there's environment, there's inherent kidney and liver diseases, environment being diet for sure, alcohol use and abuse, diet in terms of there are certain foods that can cause liver disease. Things like high corn and maize and peanut consumption that is really high in a fungus called aflatoxin. That alone can cause a high amount of that can cause.
Wow, and I love peanuts. I love peanut butter. I love
Right.
everything that has
That has
peanuts.
peanuts, and it's a huge, yeah, it's a huge part of the North American diet as well, and here as well in Latin America. And what happens is it can cause non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So I see patients that come in with cirrhotic livers, fatty livers, and they don't drink even an ounce of alcohol, and that's why. So we have causes such as that, and then other, hereditary factors, alcohol, of course, um, high fructose consumption, like high fructose corn syrup, and that is why it's so important to watch the consumption of processed foods.
Can we say that drug abuse may cause also liver and kidney damage?
Yes, thank you for that. Absolutely. So even a high usage of acetaminophen, Tylenol, can cause liver damage. Any kind of drug, whether it's illicit drugs, whether it's high amounts of certain prescription medications, or even over the counter, like I mentioned, the Tylenol. Absolutely, and that was a big one that I missed in the causes, but absolutely, yes.
So, in terms of the solution, stem cells can be a solution. And can stem cells regenerate the liver and kidneys?
Absolutely. The goal is for the stem cells to help regeneration of damaged cells, and if applied correctly, as well as so regenerate and undo damage that's been done, and then also halt the progression of any disease. So, depending on what we're dealing with, a lot of kidney disease begins with diabetes. And because diabetes is so prevalent, we see a lot of kidney malfunction and dysfunction and disease. So we have to look at the root cause of these diseases, of the damage, and address the root cause, and then try to undo the damage that's been done by whatever has caused the disease.
So, if we do get a patient that has been under dialysis, um, can these treatments help?
Yes, we have had patients that were on dialysis to either reduce the need, and if they were on little dialysis, we've seen elimination of dialysis. So, and it may take more than one treatment. It all depends on the degree of damage. But absolutely, the goal is to get these stem cells right at the site of injury, address the root cause of the injury, and and reverse the damage, and get them off of dialysis, get them functioning in a better quality of life, basically.
So, to treat these organs, doctor, is it the same procedure for both of them?
Very similar, very similar. What we're trying to do here, as I mentioned, we want to do a workup before stem cell treatment, and uh, look at detoxifying the body, which helps with the liver detox, the kidney detox. So we work on detoxification, we work on hormone therapy, which is so important with these types of organs and treatments, as well as oxygen that helps the rejuvenation and the renewal of cells just in and of itself, as well as our stem cell enhancement formula, the key herbs and minerals and other nutraceuticals that would help enhance function, and And then the stem cells themselves, which are so important. And we would put the stem cells systemically as an IV, as well as locally as possible, right into the circulation of like the portal circulation, as well as the kidney circulation. So it's really important to address those, and then anything else we can do in support of the liver and kidney, we will do that.
So, doctor, what would be the outcome? What would the patient feel after they receive the stem cells? Or what can they expect?
What can they expect? So we see liver function, objective liver function tests and kidney function tests improve. So the ALT, AST, BUN, creatinine, we see a lot of these improve within months of stem cell treatment. So actual function and actual objective testing, we see the numbers improve. In terms of what the patient might feel, we see energy, an increase in energy. We see a decrease in dialysis use. We see different foods and different intolerances improve. Various different, even color of the skin and the patient's vibrancy. Various different improvements we see, and it's we see different things in different patients depending on the degree of deficiency.
I see, doctor. And the treatment is done in Guatemala. I know we mentioned this almost in every podcast because, we know that we have listeners with different types of
geographies,
geographies and
yes.
And conditions. That was the word I was looking for. So you do this treatment in Guatemala. Why, doctor? Why Guatemala?
Yes. Thank you, Luis. That's a really important question to answer, because we get that a lot from patients, and why we don't do this in the U.S. and Canada. First of all, Canada has outlawed any type of stem cell treatment completely for humans, as well as the U.S., where the U.S. has a version of stem cell treatment, but because of FDA restrictions, we cannot grow, we cannot manipulate the cell or combine the stem cells with anything else to help make them much more effective, or manipulate them to activate them in any way. The numbers are so important. I mentioned growing or expanding the stem cells. The numbers in stem cell treatments are so important to have an effective treatment. Not allowed to do that in the US. And the stem cells in the US, whatever stem cells are used for a treatment, they can only come from the patient's own body, when in so many cases, endometrial or umbilical or other types of stem cells can be so effective, endometrial being so effective for an autoimmune condition, for instance. So that is why we're here in Guatemala doing a very, very effective stem cell treatment, very safe and effective stem cell treatment that combines different types of stem cells when needed. The stem cells are grown or expanded. They're combined with other factors, growth factors, and various different exosomes, and we create a very effective cocktail to do this, as well as other adjunctive therapies that make everything so effective working together.
Awesome, doctor. I don't know if you want to add anything else to this podcast. Maybe I missed something.
No, perhaps just that Guatemala is a destination location, beautiful to vacate. We have ruins, we have coffee farms, we have
beautiful lakes, active lakes.
That's right.
Active volcanoes.
Active volcanoes. And so it would definitely be worth even making a vacation out of treatment.
Yeah, and we will provide a chauffeur in case you need to do any errands here, and of course the doctor appointments. So by the end of this podcast, you will find all the information on how to contact Dr. Figueredo, and we appreciate you are listening and watching. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Luis. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. In case you have any questions, please visit our website, stemcellhealinginstitute.com. Or you may send us an email to info@stemcellhealinginstitute.com. If you want to contact us from North America, you may dial +1 209 690 7836. If you want to send us a message through WhatsApp, please add us at +502 4220 7297. And this is how you find us on our social media. On Facebook, Stem Cell Healing Institute. On Instagram, Stem Cell HI. On Spotify, Stem Cell Healing Institute. On YouTube, Stem Cell Healing Institute. We hope to hear from you. Thank you.